Claudia Coco here at Neyland Stadium, where the Vols will take on Appalachian State Thursday at 7:30. Fans and players are saying that it feels like the 1998 season all over again. Yes, Maddie, I'm in the spot where the Volunteers run through that famous T, and in a couple hours, they will be playing under these lights. The Vols took on number 22 Arkansas this past weekend and upset them in just 4 sets. The Vols went down the first set, but rallied and took the next 3. Let's take a look at this week's top 3 plays. Number 3, Lexi Dempsey takes advantage of the good pass and throws it out to Bree Holmes, who puts it away with a stellar cross-court shot. Number 2, Kanisha Jimenez beats the blocker out to the pin and takes a kill down the line. And number 1, Erica Treiber takes that overpass and swipes right.
Athletes come here for after-practice recovery, and simple ways to lose weight include avoiding the high-calorie drinks like Hershey's chocolate milk and picking up something like muscle milk that's more high in protein.
Unfortunately, there is risk involved in every sport, but organizations like the NCAA and the NFL are changing the rules in order to reduce the risk of getting a concussion. They want to stop hits like this one, that one, and this one. Targeting and helmet-to-helmet come with stiff penalties, and these rules are strictly enforced. But Dr. Clank, the team physician at the University of Tennessee, says there is still a chance that players can get a concussion.
We will never have a scenario where we can 100% prevent someone from having a concussion, particularly in contact and collision sports. I think it's an inherent risk of playing sports.
Dr. Clank said they can't stop athletes from getting concussions, but the best way to keep athletes safe is through education, also keeping athletes off the field before they pass their concussion tests.
They have a very strict concussion policy. Now, obviously playing football, you see a lot of concussions. So, they're very strict about you have to pass a lot of tests just to be able to be considered to go back on the practice.
Josh Dobbs, Tennessee's quarterback, said he isn't afraid of getting a concussion.
But when you walk out to the field, that's the last thing that cross your mind. And I guess it really comes from your raw confidence, obviously your sucking ability.
Dobbs is not just an incredible athlete, he's an incredible student. He realizes the risks involved when it comes to sports, but he said he hasn't thought about if getting hit in the head will affect him in the future.
You understand the risks that are involved. Any sport, anything you do, there's going to be a risk of injury. So every time you walk on the field, you understand that, but you also have to have the confidence enough and the trust enough in your own skills and ability that you can still go out and compete.
Dobbs also feels like the athletic department and the trainers do their best to keep athletes educated and aware of the risk involved. For UT Today, this is Claudia Coco.
On the SEC Network. An odd fascination people have when it comes to sports, and especially football, is how much weight these athletes gain before the start of the season.
That's right, Channing. When it comes to SEC football, these boys have to be large. Otherwise, it could be a safety hazard. There are a lot of components that go into gaining healthy weight, and nutrition is a major part. A common question when it comes to football players is, how do they get that big? Well, it doesn't come from eating cheeseburgers and milkshakes. Head nutritionist at Tennessee, Allison Marr, is one of the first people these athletes see, so she can help them create a plan to get them to where they need to be.
New athletes come in, they're not necessarily at that level yet, and so one of the jobs that we have to do is make sure that we develop them to get there.
The first thing they do is called the BOD Pod. It is a body composition test that gives an athlete's muscle to fat ratio, which helps Marr develop a specialized weight gain plan for that player.
Trying to gain weight is like another job. I mean, you have to be dedicated to food all day, every day. And there's really, the difference between practice and food is when you practice, you're done and you can go home and relax. Well, food continues throughout the entire day, all weekend, all that.
This is what a typical day looks like for a player on the weight gain program. It hits all of the basic food groups and then some. This diet is loaded up with carbs and protein. Marr wants them to be mindful of the types of calories that they are putting into their body. The players who eat a lot of fatty food don't realize that they aren't going to gain the right type of weight.
So a lot of guys who do eat like that don't gain weight very easily because their body is not producing the testosterone that they need to build muscles.
Smokey's Grill, the new athletic cafeteria, has made Mara's job just a little easier. Because when all is said and done, the goal calorie intake for these athletes is anywhere from 4,000 to upwards of 6,000 calories. Smokey's not only provides the right amount of food and types of food for these players, but Mara can now use it as an educational tool for athletes across the board.
Sophomore defensive back Emmanuel Mosley is just one example of a player who succeeded in the weight gain program. He came in as a freshman weighing 145 pounds, and he now weighs in at approximately 175 pounds.
For any pitcher, a perfect game is a big deal. But 2 perfect games, you're looking at a monumental achievement. Senior pitcher Erin Gabriel pitched her second perfect game against Jacksonville and recorded the 14th perfect game in Tennessee softball history.
I honestly didn't know they were happening at the time because you're just in that mindset of one pitch at a time. Everything's working, everything's feeling good. So when you're just attacking one pitch at a time and then all of a sudden the game's over and you threw a perfect game.
It took 6 unofficial visits to Tennessee before she committed. One of the major draws to the school was the tight-knit team. She says that she may have pitched a perfect game, but it was the team who kept her on point.
My teammates, I can't say enough about how they make me feel. They kept me laughing, they kept me relaxed during the game.
Part of her triumph is her mental game. Over her 4 years, Gabriel learned that she is in complete control of her pitching.
You can make the game as big as you want and you can make the game as small as you want. And if you just try and overcomplicate things instead of making the game simple, then you're always going to have problems. So really working on my mental game is the biggest thing.
For UT Today, this is Claudia Coco.